Reddit, what's your anyways, we are married now story? Right after our first kiss he said, I'm not looking to get married. Neither am I replied. So anyway, we are married now. On our first date he tried showing off by drifting down a gravel road and tore through a ranch fence. Anyway, we are married now. My great grandparents met because my great grandfather was delivering the newspaper to my great grandmother's house and her brother, though he was trespassing and tried shooting at him, my great grandmother felt bad and bought him lunch. They were together for over 75 years and lived a very happy life. My dad threw a paper airplane at the back of my mom's head in college. She told him to grow up. Anyways, they've been married now for over 36 years. Co-worker's boyfriend's brother came up to stay with them. We have to have you out for dinner with him. You have a lot in common. He likes nerdy things too. You're not allowed to date him though. Definitely dated and married him. Co-worker and now brother-in-law broke up around the time we got engaged. He's better without her. I met my husband when I got a new job at a grocery store and the guy from the deli came up and yelled at me for hanging up on customers when I couldn't figure out the phone transfer process. He was that guy from the deli, and anyway we are married now. So when my wife were dating she got pneumonia and didn't have health insurance. Asked her to elope to get on my insurance and 2 weeks later we are married. We met in the psychiatric hospital. Anyways, we are married now. 30 years this June. So, back in the 70s our families moved to a new farming town. Our church was doing a fundraiser by planting potatoes which would then be sold to help with building costs. Parents were busy and put us toddlers in a dry empty cattle watering tank / trough. Anyways, we are married 25 years now. In 2nd grade, I was voted class favorite. Why was this ever a thing? Horrible idea for kids' self-esteem, along with a weird fella who I had trouble believing anyone even voted for because he was quite reserved and bland. In the 5th grade I remember the same guy getting called to the front of the class to write his answer on the board. He was awkward and dressed accordingly. The girl seated behind me very quietly commented his booty look like it be eaten his pants. Only I heard this, but it was a humorously accurate observation. After 5th grade I never saw him / heard from him again until we were 21. He showed up at my house to purchase a vehicle we had for sale after my dad passed exactly 1 month earlier. I only recognized him after my mom wrote his name on a receipt for purchasing the car. I reminded him of our time as class favorite and my mom made a show of breaking out the yearbooks. Anyways, we are happily married now. I was working at a video game shop and he was hired to DJ the midnight release of a game I didn't care for. He comes in, waits in the giant line of people finalizing their pre-order before midnight. When he gets to the register, I ask him if he's here for the premiere, but he says he wouldn't be caught dead playing that game and proceeds to purchase a different, older game. I later find out he already has. He asks me when I finish my shift and to swing by the DJ table when I'm off. I do indeed swing by, and now we've been married going on 5 years with 2 cats and a recently purchased home. He proposed by sticking the ring inside the case of the game he bought that night. I had a cold and went on a date to an Irish pub. I was eating bangers and mash and had the urge to cough. I tried to keep my mouth shut, but just wound up spraying his face with gravy and mashed potatoes through my pursed lips. I was still coughing, so I took a sip of my drink to soothe my throat. It was beer. The bubbles tickled my throat more. I also spit that all over his face. He stared at me in disgusted horror as gravy, mashed potatoes and beer dripped down his face onto his shirt. I laughed and laughed and laughed, making my apologies sound very insincere. Anyways, we are married now. Thank goodness our booth had high backs so only he suffered. We met in elementary school. I transferred schools before high school and we lost touch. Found out we had enrolled at the same university, in the same program, once university classes started. Anyways, we are married now. 8 years ago, when I was desperately trying to make it as an actor, I answered an audition call for an unpaid role in a sitcom pilot that 2 friends had written together. It was in a basement flat in London. My mum warned me to be so careful. The door was opened by a charming guy with a crooked smile, and a video camera was set up facing the sofa. But the audition went well. Not only did he not murder me, they offered me the role there and then. And we all went to the pub to celebrate and get to know each other. In our first conversation, Crooked Smile Guy and I joked about wanting to naming our respective future kids after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Raphael is 12 weeks old today. He has his dad's smile. You know that moment at church the pastor says now stand up and say hi to someone you never met. Anyways, we are married now. My uncle met my aunt while shitting on the side of the road drunk while his friends laughed hysterically. She was walking somewhere that I don't remember. He then stared at her for a solid minute then passed out. She started laughing and they started dating 2 days later. Anyways, now they are married. I swiped right on someone who was the exact opposite of my type. Short, big teeth, not ambitious, really skinny. He was leaving town the morning after our date. He was a good half hour late to the date, muttered softly, and was bad with eye contact. I only went on the date because I'd had really fucked up stuff happen to me and I just wanted one date with someone that wasn't going to lead to anything, just to feel normal. Anyway, we just had our first kid. Shortly after we met he asked me, do you trust me? I said, laughed and said no. Anyhow, we are married now. I tripped and rolled down a hill, embarrassing myself in front of my girlfriend and her roommate. Anyways, the roommate and I are married now. Our first date was a disaster of epic proportions. Ended with me yelling at her and her paying the check while I was in the latrine just so she could get out of there quicker. Anyways, we are married now, over 8 years strong. 2 kids. I can't see my life without this beautiful crazy person, and I like to think she feels the same way. I met this girl. She started calling me, then every time I went out to eat or to a movie she showed up. Sometimes I would come home from work and she would be waiting outside my place with dinner. The last time she came over she never left. Sure, she leaves for a bit, but comes right back. Anyways, I said why the fuck not, and we are married now. The drummer for a band I was in told his girlfriend at the time that she wasn't allowed to talk to me because she would just try and fuck me anyways. His now ex-girlfriend and I are married with 4 kids. So we went downtown in college to celebrate a friend's 21st birthday. My date for the evening had a few too many cocktails and ended up getting kicked out of the bar because she used the utility closet as a bathroom. I'll have to walk her home. But anyways, we are marrying next month. Met him in high school while he was hitting on my identical twin sister. Anyways, we are married now. If you liked this video, smash the like button and subscribe for daily dose of Reddit. Have fun and get reddited.